A person as mighty as him should have been respected and admired by all, no matter where he went. His presence alone should be worshipped like that of a god, so why was he behaving so humbly? Prince of Theseus, your grace. Clement stared dully, first at Rufus and then at Dustin. He felt an immense fear that he had never experienced before crept up on him and spread throughout his entire being. There was only one person in the whole world who was known as the Prince of Theseus, and that person was the ruler of West Lucosia, the person who had total control over the Rhys household, and the one person who reigned Dragonmarsh. It was the remarkable Rufus Rhys. Could it be possible that the ugly and hunched old man was the indestructible Prince of Theseus? At the thought of that, Clement was so terrified that he broke out in a cold sweat and looked as white as a sheet. And if the hunched old man was the Prince of Theseus, then wouldn't Dustin, who was addressed as Your Grace, be the son of the Prince of Theseus? Which would make him the renowned Kirrin, Logan Rhys. Clement's knees buckled, and he fell heavily to the ground on his backside. His face was ashen, and his gaze was full of despair. He wasn't the only one reduced to such a state. By then, all three of the Williams men were also trembling and shaking in fear. Brodie, especially, quivered like a leaf, and his pants were dripping wet. He was so scared that he had wet himself. None of them had ever thought that the person they had assumed to be just a small fry would turn out to be the son of the Prince of Theseus, and they had offended him. Get up, Mr. Wilkins. What's a grown man doing staying on his knees everywhere he goes? Oh, wait. I nearly forgot. You're not a man, are you? Rufus mocked with the hint of a smile teasing on his lips. Thank you, Your Highness. Nestor's eyes narrowed ever so slightly before he resumed his humble and submissive facade. You've come just in time today. You must have followed me the entire way here. Rufus asked intentionally. The master was worried about your safety, Your Highness, so he sent me to secretly protect you along the way. I beg for your pardon. Nestor lowered his head. To protect me? I'm sure you meant he sent you to spy on me. Rufus smiled ambiguously. Please do not get the wrong idea, sir. You are of esteemed status, and your identity dictates the destiny of the whole of Dragonmarsh. Even the slightest scratch or injury on you would threaten the fate of the nation. Nestor explained humbly. What a good attendant you are. Rufus reached out to give Nestor a pat on the back. Thank you, Your Highness. Nestor nodded. We shouldn't stay here any longer, sir. Please return to West Lucosia immediately to ensure that you face no mishap. Oh, are you telling me what to do now? Rufus' expression darkened. I would never dare to. Nestor held his head low. If you're a servant, then act as a servant should. Don't you ever dare tell me what to do, or you'll be sorry, Rufus warned. Yes, Your Highness. Nestor remained submissive and kept his gaze fixed on the ground. Well, why are you still here? Get lost. Rufus waved his hand impatiently. Yes, sir, Nestor answered. Just as he was about to take his leave, he was stopped by Dustin. Hold up. Did I say you could leave? Do you have any orders, Your Grace? Once again, Nestor kept his head low. Tell me, were you involved in the incident 10 years ago? Dustin asked coldly. I do not understand what you're referring to, Your Grace. Do you not understand, or are you feigning ignorance? Dustin's gaze was frosty, and killing intent was starting to surface. I'll ask you one last time. Did you have anything to do with my mother's death? You must have been mistaken, Your Grace. I know nothing about it. Nestor shook his head. Who, in the whole of Ailka, could stop my mother, if not for you, an ultimate Grandmaster? Dustin clenched his fists, and fury burned within him. From what I know, the princess consort had passed on due to an ailment. Nestor sidestepped. F***CKU and your ailments. Go to hell, vermin. Dustin pulled out his sword and charged head-on toward him.